लाडली लाल की जय। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुर् गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्तिः पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदम् मन्त्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यम् भक्तिमूलं गुरोर्कृपा। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तद्ब्रह्मा देवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये। We will do a little kirtan. I know that you cannot join me, but it helps to to listen to kirtan and to do kirtan to calm our minds. So please close your eyes and do Roop Dhyan as we sing. राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय जय जय। बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय जय जय। राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। बोलो श्यामा प्यारी की जय जय 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 जय। राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय जय जय। बोलो भानु दुलारी की जय जय जय। बोलो कीर्ति कुमारी की जय जय जय। बोलो कीर्ति कुमारी की जय जय जय। राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। बोलो बरसाने वाली की जय जय 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 जय। राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की 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 जय। महारानी की जय, ठाकुरानी की जय। महारानी की जय, ठाकुरानी की जय। राधे रानी की जय, महारानी की जय। बोलिए राधा रानी महारानी की जय। वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की जय। Radhe Radhe everyone. Should I speak in English or in Hindi? Would
I think in English, Didi. Yeah.
English. So today's topic is how to live without stress, free of stress. Stress is a part of our everyday life. Stress comes to us because of some new situation. For instance, a new job, a job interview, an exam project that has to be finished within a certain period of time. There are many reasons for stress. If someone is moving from one place to another, there is stress. From one job to the other, if someone becomes jobless, we give many reasons for the stress that we are feeling in life. Stress can be used in a positive way, or if it's not managed properly, it becomes very negative. It becomes a negative force in our lives, and it can harm us tremendously. So we need to learn how to handle stress. Many times, stress makes a person work very hard. Stress can make you work very diligently. It can make you more productive, and it can take you in the other direction as well. So we are obviously speaking about the time when stress does not help us and it is going in the negative direction. So what to do? How can we manage this stress? Our stress is in the mind, so we will need to work on the mind itself. The mind is the greatest gift that God has given to us. It is the greatest gift that God has given to us, besides the human form of life. So for us humans, the mind is the most precious gift. And Sri Krishna has said to us in the Gita that there are some things that we can do in everyday life that will reduce our stress and that will help us to manage our stress. He says, Natyashnatastu yogosti na chaikan tamanashnata na chati swapna shilasya jagrato naiva charjuna yuktahara viharasya yuktacheshtasya karmasu युक्तस्वप्नावबोधस्य योगो भवति दुःखः. Sri Krishna says, exercise caution in eating and sleeping. Food and sleep, they will help you to manage your mind. Eat simple foods, eat sattvic foods, vegetarian foods, eat foods that are not overcooked and overspiced and overfried. Eat the right amount of food and get enough sleep, but not too much sleep. These days, everyone is talking about stress and how to take care of mental health, self-care. These are the buzzwords: self-care, mental health. And it's good that people are becoming aware of this because the mind is so precious. So our scriptures tell us, Bhagavad Gita, 5,000 years ago, Sri Krishna was telling us how to take care of the mind, how to manage the stress. Simply through, part of it has to do with the food and sleep. If we are eating the right type of food, then ahara shuddhau sattva shuddhihi. Sattva shuddhau dhruva smritihi. Chandogya Upanishad says, if you're eating sattvic foods, then your mind will become more pure. And once the mind is becoming pure, it will become much easier for you to think about God. And when we are thinking about God, we cannot have stress. Either God will live in the mind or stress. So food has a lot to do with the stress we are feeling. Incredible as it may sound to some people, but it makes sense to us that what we put into our stomach, into our mouth, it helps us or harms us physically, or it helps us or harms us mentally as well. You are what you eat. And the amount of sleep we get, that is also going to help us mentally, or it's going to harm us mentally. If you're not able to sleep at night, you cannot function. And the regular situations in life that will not affect you negatively in an ordinary situation will become overwhelming. I think everyone has had an experience regarding that. So one of the easiest things we can do to manage our stress is to pay attention to the food we are eating and to the sleep that we are getting. It is not advisable to get too much sleep, but it's also not advisable to deprive ourselves of sleep. Besides this, we always need to have the counsel of those who are more knowledgeable than ourselves. We need a guru in life. We need those who can advise us properly. We need spiritual people around us as our advisors. In the ancient times, when there were kings and queens, well, I guess in not such ancient times, here in the UK, you have a king and queen. But, in the olden days, we always heard that kings would have advisors. We also, an ordinary person, we also need advisors. We do look to others for advice. So if we have intelligent people advising us, they will help us to manage our mind. If we have foolish people advising us, they will do the opposite. For instance, you have a situation in your personal life. Let's say that you have an ongoing fight with your siblings. You're not speaking to any one of them. You're speaking to none of the three. You have three siblings and you're not speaking to any one of them. And it was a silly misunderstanding, but you have cut off with them. You want some advice and you ask a friend who's very intelligent, what should I do? Someone who's knowledgeable, what should I do? The knowledgeable friend, advisor will tell you to do the right thing. Let bygones be bygones. Let's forget who said what, who did what. Tu, meh. Forget all this. I said this, but he said that, but you said this, and you spoke to me like this. Forget about it. Life is short. Life is short. You don't want to dwell on all this. Just forgive and forget. But if it is someone who is foolish, that advisor will tell you, do not speak to any one of them. But they're apologizing to me. No, but how they have treated you is just unforgivable. Bad advice. We need advice which will feed our mind properly, which will nourish our mind. We don't need advice that will inflame our anger and our greed or our envy, frustration. It's very important to look at the company that you are keeping. Who are my friends? Are they wise? Do they give me good advice? Foolish is the individual who always looks for a yes man. Yes, what you're doing is right. But intelligent is the one who is willing to listen to criticism from his friends and advisors. No, you're doing this wrong. So you have to have people around you who are not going to say yes to you all the time. You have to have people around you who will point out your mistake. That is good for the mind. Scriptures play a huge role in controlling our mind and controlling our stress. The knowledge that is in the scriptures is explained to us by the Guru, by the divine Guru. And that knowledge is so precious that it is something that it's priceless. The knowledge that comes from the Vedas, the Purans, the Gita, Ramayana, that knowledge, we must always listen to it. Our scriptures say that we should not be lazy or careless when it comes to listening to that knowledge. When it comes to listening to lectures, we must never think, I've listened enough. Once in Sri Mangar Dham, in Sri Kripalu Dham, a lecture was going on in the sadhana hall. One of Sri Maharajji's preachers was speaking, and Sri Maharajji saw one person loitering outside the hall. And Sri Maharajji took this person to task. Sri Maharajji asked, have you become God realized? No, Maharajji, I have not. Then why are you not listening? Go and listen. Or do you think you know everything? So Sri Maharajji, Jagat Guru Uttam Sri Kripaluji Maharaj, was pointing out that we always need to listen. We're not at the point where we have everything under control. Our mind is under control. There's no stress in life. We are continually stressing over what happened in the past and also what is going to go on, what is going to happen in the future. It's the uncertainty of the future and regrets of the past. They're always tormenting us. So we need to listen. Avritti rasa kridupadeshat. Upadesh ko baar baar suno. Listen to divine teachings again and again and again. Listening to them once or twice is not enough. Because sometimes when we are listening to a lecture, sometimes when we're listening to those teachings, we're not in the right frame of mind. We are not accepting those teachings because we are frustrated. Maybe perhaps the whole day has been very frustrating. We're not in the right frame of mind to listen. So when we listen to those teachings, they don't really go in. They go into our ears, but they don't really, they go through one ear, come out the next, come out the other. So we need to listen again and again. Siddhanta Boliya Chitte Nakaralos. Gauranga Mahaprabhu has said the same. Do not be careless in listening to divine teachings of scriptures. So the words of the Guru are priceless. They are going to help us tremendously. I am certain that many of you who have been listening to Sri Maharajji, you feel immediately pacified when you listen to the voice of Sri Maharajji. You could be feeling very stressed and you know what to do. You put on the lecture and you hear that divine voice, and all of a sudden, the mind is pacified. There is peace within. So that is very, very important. We must continually do that. And then the sadhana, the practice of devotion, it is a powerful antidote to stress. Spending time with God and Guru, giving some time, giving an hour or two, dedicating that time to thinking about Sri Radha Krishna and our Guru Dev, Divine Guru, that is essential nourishment for the mind. It gives positive nourishment. It gives wonderful, healthy nourishment, healthy food to the mind. Roop Dhyan. Meditation has been long hailed as the antidote to stress. And Roop Dhyan is the best form of meditation. It's the most helpful, it's the most effective. Oftentimes, when we think about meditation, when people think about meditation, they think about breathing, this concentration on the breath that goes in, the breath that they take, the inhale and the exhale. They're focusing on that. I'm inhaling, I'm exhaling. Or the concentration is on the third eye, or it's on the tip of a flame. It's something like that. The meditation that Jagat Guru Uttam Shri Kripaluji Maharaj has given to the entire world, it's called Roop Dhyan. What a beautiful word, Roop Dhyan. Dhyan is there, meditation is there, but it's not on the breath or on a flame or on the third eye. It's on Sri Radha and Krishna. It's on God, the divine form of God, the infinitely beautiful form of Sri Radha and Krishna. The most powerful stress buster, I would say. When we close our eyes during our private moments in which there is no one but yourself and God and Gurudev. Then when you are trying to do Roop Dhyan, taking help from kirtans and bhajans, then that is a wonderful stress beater. Because you're putting God into your mind, and God is the opposite of stress and worries. So you're putting the medication for stress into your mind every time you do Roop Dhyan. So Roop Dhyan is a must. Sometimes you're doing Roop Dhyan with your eyes closed. That's during the Karma Sannyas Sadhana, when you are letting go of all your duties and obligations and spending time alone in your private room. And sometimes you are doing Roop Dhyan with your eyes wide open because perhaps you are driving to work or from work. You are taking the train or bus or whatever mode of transportation, or you are talking to people. You are engaged in your daily chores. You're vacuuming the house, the carpet. You are cooking for your family. You are doing so many things. You're doing your chores. And now you will do Roop Dhyan with your eyes wide open. This combination of Roop Dhyan during both the types of sadhana, Karma Sannyas and Karma Yoga sadhana. Karma Sannyas, of course, meaning when you renounce all your duties and obligations and you are only concerned with God and Gurudev. And Karma Yoga sadhana, meaning when you're trying to think about God and your divine Guru while performing works of the world, while performing your chores, doing your chores. So Roop Dhyan is extremely effective in taking care of stress. So it's a combination. To beat stress and to be free of stress, we need to live a life which is a balanced life, in which we are taking care of the mind just as we take care of the body. The mind is a very delicate thing. It's a very precious possession that we have, and we must take care of it properly. The self-care, as I was mentioning earlier, self-care, mental health, taking care of mental health. Everyone is talking about that on different continents. Everyone is talking about that all over the world. We need to pay special attention to that. And so we are going to use food and sleep. We need to regulate food and sleep. We need to be in the company of those who are wise. We need to listen to the knowledge of the scriptures. We need to pay attention to the instructions of Gurudev, and we need to do Roop Dhyan. We need to put that knowledge we are listening to in practice on a daily basis. Stress comes to us from different sources. We attribute stress to people and situations and objects. And those people are always going to be around us. Those objects are going to be there. Different situations will come up in life. But someone who has understood how to manage stress is unaffected by the negative forces. So stress is a part of life, and we just need to manage it properly. बोलिए श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की जय. I want to give you some time to ask questions about this also. So please do raise your hand electronically, I suppose, if you have questions.
Devi, there are new devotees as well. So if you will allow, whenever you felt after the Q&A session, they can introduce themselves.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Devi. Thank you.
So perhaps if you don't have any questions, maybe I can ask the newcomers to introduce yourselves. In the meantime, you can think about some questions.
Yeah. Tejasvi, can you unmute and introduce yourself?
Hello. Namaste, Didi ji. Good
Namaste.
evening. Namaste. I'm Tejasvi. I don't know what I should include in my introduction. I'm living in London at the moment. I'm practicing law, and I have been a very big I've been very fond of Didi ji, and I read her words of wisdom every time she sends me on my email. So yes, that would be all.
It's good to see you again. I believe I met you in January. Yes.
Yes, we did.
Radhe Radhe Tejasvi.
Radhe
Very
Radhe.
nice to see you again.
Yes.
Nirmala. You can introduce yourself.
Hello.
Yes, Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Sorry, I had some problem in my phone. Yeah, my name is Nirmala, and I'm living in London since last 10 years. We just met the day before last week in Nidhi's house.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, yeah, I like the way you conduct, and I've just started. This is my first time I'm listening to such talks. So
Welcome,
yes,
Nirmala, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you soon before I leave.
yes, yes. Thank you.
And welcome.
Yes.
Most welcome.
Anyone else?
Mrs. Neeru Vyas from Glasgow. Didi, please unmute yourself. Neeru Didi from Glasgow. She may not be hearing it, bhaiya.
Well, welcome anyway, Neeruji from Glasgow, Scotland.
Hi, I'm going to speak for my mom because she's got a sore throat, unfortunately, so she can't speak.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's happy to be here, and yeah, she wishes you all the best.
Thank you. Hope she feels better soon.
Thank you. I'll just pass it back so she can see her.
We have one question
Yes.
coming. Okay. Vijay bhaiya. Please unmute. Yeah.
Radhe Radhe Didi. Hope you're doing well.
Radhe, yes.
Radhe
Thank you.
Radhe. Sorry, I'm just holding my phone. I have one question. So while doing group dhyan, like what should we focus like? Because sometimes it's very difficult to focus on, while closing our eyes, it is very difficult to focus on the whole form. And
Yes.
if you start focusing on hand, you lose other parts of the whole form. And then when we start looking to the legs, just thinking that okay, this is Yugal Charan, then you lose the other part. So, and when I try to link all the parts, then I just lose everything.
Right.
So what basically like we should focus so that we are connected and we know that okay, we are doing group dhyan of Radha Krishna.
Yes, Vijay, it does happen that it's very difficult to concentrate on the entire body. So it's quite all right. So I think someone has their mic. It's creating feedback. Yes, Vijay. So it's quite all right to concentrate just on the eyes, perhaps, or on the lotus feet, or any one part of their body. And that's all right. You don't have to. It's not obligatory that you have to concentrate on the entire face, even maybe just the face, or maybe just the eyes, maybe just the lotus feet, or whatever part of the body that is maybe just his hair, or maybe a combination of two. It's quite all right, and you concentrate only on that, because you are trying to manage the mind, you're trying to manage whatever you can do. So we should not be discouraged, and you can concentrate on just one part of the body. It's quite all right.
Thank you so much, Didi.
And
Thank you.
at my extension also, I would like to say that to help us to do that Rup Dhyan, it's very essential to take help of a photo that you like, or a murti that you like. You see many different photos of Radha and Krishna. You may not like all of them. And there's always one or two that we always like more. So we can use that image that we see as a basis for our Rup Dhyan.
Thank you so much, Didi. Radhe Radhe. Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe.
Sheila ji.
my question was, Didi, that sometimes when you do Roop Dhyan of Sri Maharaj-ji, Gurudev, then is it okay just to concentrate? It's because Maharaj-ji would always be, as I have seen his many videos, I usually see him sitting on the bed, sort of, like his asan, the bed, and talking from there. And sometimes he's putting his hand on his hair, or looking at a devotee, or various things like that. So in order, and Maharaj-ji always says to do a Roop Dhyan of Chalat Roop Dhyan, not like even Radharani and Krishna Bhagwan, then if we have to see that they are actually moving towards you, or standing in front of you and flicking there and looking at your eyes and various things. So could you explain a bit more on that score, please, kindly?
Yes, what is meant by, concentration, or do Roop Dhyan of Radha and Krishna who are walking around, moving around, is so that you don't look at them as murtis, so that you don't think they're just static. But there are times you're going to think about Radha and Krishna also as sitting in the kunj, in the flowery groves. And at the same time you will think of Sri Maharaj-ji sitting in one place. And that doesn't mean he has become static. It's just that he will not always be moving around. Radha and Krishna cannot always be moving around. Sri Maharaj-ji wasn't always moving around. Sometimes he was sitting. So that's quite all right.
Okay, thank you, Didi. That's very good. Thanks. And one more question I have. You said that it's good to surround yourself with people who would give you the right sort of advice.
Yes.
And I think you've hit the nail on the head, because it's very important to do that. Otherwise, your mind even goes at a further tangent from where you had begun, and it becomes even more stressful. Thank you for sort of, putting that again forward. Thanks, Didi ji. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. I'm reminded of an incident that we hear about from the Bhagavatam, and that is when Kans had imprisoned Devki and Vasudev, and he was killing their babies as they were born. But there was a point when he became very contrite. He started feeling very badly about what he was doing. So he actually released them. He released Devki and Vasudev, and he begged for forgiveness. He said, you are Mahatmas, and I'm such a sinner. Please forgive me. And when he told his ministers what he had done, they gave him the wrong advice. They said, oh no, oh king, oh Kans, you should not have done that. You need to imprison them. So hearing that bad advice, he put them in prison once again. So we see that this is what happens when we get bad advice. Our mind is already not all that wonderful, and then the mind becomes even worse when we listen to bad advice. When we hear good advice, that helps us tremendously.
Thank you, Didi. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Purna?
Radhe Radhe, Didi.
Radhe Radhe, Purna.
So you were mentioning about two types of sadhanas, like karma sannyas sadhana and karma yoga sadhana.
Yes.
So I was just thinking, like when it is karma sannyas, when it is karma yoga sadhana, when we are doing something else, some other normal course, and then trying to do the Roop Dhyan, are we concentrating only on the Roop Dhyan, or are we also thinking of doing some chant kind of a thing, so that we will stick to that?
When you are doing karma yoga sadhana, and you are doing something or the other, you are going about your daily chores and daily work, then you're not in a position to chant. I would say that you're not in the position to start chanting. And then you just do Roop Dhyan. And that too, you must, what you need to do is to get your mind accustomed to thinking about Sri Krishna. And you do that by gently introducing Sri Krishna to your mind perhaps once for a moment or two every hour. Like every hour, you just remind yourself, oh, I must think of him. And you look at him, and you visualize him to be in front of you. And then your mind becomes aware that you are not alone, that he is in front of you, he's with you. And then an hour later, you again think of him, and you keep on doing your work. Your work will not get disturbed. And with practice, you'll be able to think of him more frequently. So it's training the mind.
Okay.
When you are doing, let's say you're doing your work at home, whatever work it may be, then you envision him, visualize him to be looking at you doing, I'm not alone. He's witnessing me. He's watching me do this. Whether it's cooking, cleaning, doing the taxes, or working on the computer, whatever it is that you're doing, just your aim is to get your mind accustomed to having Sri Krishna there.
Okay. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Devi, what I felt myself today, while Sheila Devi ji was asking about having friends around for the guidance, it's very, very difficult to find a right frame of friends. I just wanted to share with you, I find my best friendship is with the scriptures and Maharajji's lectures and simple books of Maharajji. By reading them, I get a lot out of it very quickly by reminding. I just wanted to share with you. They are my best friends.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. Absolutely.
Like Maharajji's always remember are yours for wisdom. The emails coming through and short book of the wisdoms. So they're quite good friends.
I agree wholeheartedly. Yes.
Thank you, Devi.
Purna, do you have would you like to ask another question?
Sorry, it was the previous one. Sorry.
That's all right, no problem. Shadia?
Shaurya, please, Shaurya Didi, please. Yeah.
Radhe Radhe Didi ji.
Radhe Radhe.
Didi, just one quick question. So when we are listening to some katha stories like Maharaj Ji says, or when you also give an example, like when Shri Krishna Bhagwan, when Kans was getting released, was releasing Devki and Vasudev Ji and all. So such stories when you listen, or any katha you listen to, and then you start imagining what is happening in your brain. Is that also a part of Roop Dhyan, or is that not Roop Dhyan?
Or when you are thinking of some story that you have heard.
So, for example, if a pravachan is going on and there Maharaj Ji or yourself or any of the anyone says a story, they tell us like of any sant, of any Mahatma, and then you just start picturizing that. Is that considered a Roop Dhyan?
As you're doing Roop Dhyan, for instance, if you're doing Karma Sannyas Sadhana and you're doing Roop Dhyan, it's best to think about, if that Roop Dhyan of the saints, any of the saints who is divine, it will help you, but does it help you to love Radha and Krishna more? That's what you want to do at that point. You want to concentrate that time. You want to concentrate your efforts on thinking about Radha and Krishna and any saints who can help you. So, for instance, thinking about the gopis at that time will be much more helpful than thinking about, Kans at that time. You understand?
I feel like there was this Leela I was looking at, Kripalu Maharaj Parishad. There's this Leela of Radha Shri Krishna Bhagwan and a sant praying to them, and then they meeting them and all. So all those, when you look at those Leelas, then you just start imagining those and all in your brain. So does that do we consider that as Roop Dhyan?
Yes, because as long as that's, aim is to think about Radha and Krishna and to love them more and more. So it depends on which Leela you're thinking about. That will help you to, yes, it will be part of your Roop Dhyan. Yes, absolutely.
Radhe Radhe. Thank you so much, Didi ji.
Most welcome. One of the things that we need to do, when the mind gets very stressed, is to think, what am I stressed about? And I always say that to a person, if someone comes to me and says, I feel very stressed, feel very worried. And I said, face your worries head on. What are you really worried about? I'll give you an example. Someone said to me, our business is going just southwards, it's going down further and further, and I'm very afraid. And so I said, okay, let's face your fear. What are you afraid of? And will you come to will you have no roof over your head? Will you have no food to eat? No, she said, no, it won't be like that. We will have to move perhaps to a smaller house, but we will always have enough to eat. And we will not be out on the street. And I said, then that's what you need to tell your mind. What is the worst thing that can happen? Why am I so worried? What am I worried about? Sometimes the mind is just accustomed. Our mind is just accustomed to becoming worried and stressed. So we need to ask our mind, what are you worried about? What are you thinking of? Sri Maharaji always talked about talking to the mind. Give the mind reasons. By reason batao, man ko samjhao. So we need to talk to the mind and say, what are you really worried about? Separate yourself from your mind and face your fear, face the reason you're feeling so stressed. And then when you address your fear, when you address your stress, it's not as bad as you thought it was. Then you accept the worst thing that can happen and you think, oh, well, that's not so bad. It's always very good to do that as we are talking about stress and how to control our mind and how to keep our mind free of stress. This is very important. Because I'm not sure if I saw a question appearing on the screen.
Oh, 1 minute.
I think
What is the ultimate truth that spirituality seeks to uncover? I wanted to ask Didiji about this.
Okay. What is the ultimate truth?
That spirituality seeks to uncover.
The ultimate truth is God, our relationship with God, the fact that God is the soul of the soul, and how to love God, how to know God, how to love God, and how to attain God. That is the ultimate aim of all spiritual knowledge. Because we are all spiritual beings. We are the Atma, we are the soul that has a body, not vice versa. We're not the body that has a soul. We are the soul that has a body. And as the individual soul, we have the Supreme Soul, who is our one and only. So the ultimate aim of all spiritual knowledge is to find out who God is and what our relationship with God is. We wish to know God, we wish to love God, and we wish to be with God. We wish to attain God. That's the ultimate aim of all spiritual learning.
Thank you, Didi.
Most
Anyone
welcome.
have any question?
We shall do a little bit more kirtan. I have my excellent drummer with me here. Let's do Roop Dhyan. Hare Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayan वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव 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 श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव 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 श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारे हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव बोलिए वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय श्रीमद सद्गुरु सरकार की
जय।
जय जय श्री राधे जय जय श्री
राधे
जय जय श्री राधे 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 everyone.
Thank you, Devi. Thank you.
Radhe Radhe.
Hope to see you in person soon. Radhe.
Yeah, just to announce that tomorrow we have a
Radhe,
lecture
Radhe.
program. Yeah, tomorrow we have a lecture program at 10 o'clock in Pasupatinath temple. And the upcoming weekend we have the Sara camp in Manchester. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Didi.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Didi.
Thank you.
Most welcome. Radhe Radhe. Good to see you all.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe.
Thank you.
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Didi. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe Didi.
Radhe Radhe Didi ji.
Radhe Radhe.